It's Friday at 4. It's All Beings Considered. Yeah. I love the song. I see you dancing. I'm always trying to get Dr. Heath to dance with me. Well, welcome everybody. It is All Beings Considered. I've got a guest host today. I love it. I got a doctor. I'm Skyjack Morgan. Most of you already know me. I'm here every week on All Beings Considered, but I've got a special doctor host with me. Her name is Dr. Questen, Dr. Q. How are you, Dr. Q?
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
I'm so glad you're here, too. Dr. Heath is traveling. She's doing all sorts of stuff and spreading the word about animals and One Health and appearing all over. People can check out Our Honor on any of our social media platforms to find out where she's going to be next, and you can catch her. But yeah, we're live and in effect on all sorts of platforms. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button so more people see it. Dr. Q, we're going to be interviewing another doctor. We got a lot of doctors in the house today.
I know. It's great.
Yeah, it is. Well, you came on the show a while back and you were telling us all about what you got going on. Do you want to give us the quick rundown so everyone knows who I'm hanging out with tonight?
Yeah, so I'm Dr. Jena Questen. I'm a small animal and aquatic veterinarian, one of the only certified aquatic veterinarians. Also a vegan veterinarian, so I recommend vegan diets for my dog and cat patients. And so that's what kind of wrangles me into this group with you guys.
Yeah. How do you feel about, like, we've been talking amongst ourselves about animal free. I've been saying I like vegan. I've been on the vegan thing for a long time. I've been vegan for 20 years. That's a word that means a lot to me. But the word now, I don't know, it means a lot of things to a lot of different people as it becomes more popular. And so we've been saying animal free, and I've been calling myself a conscientious objector. I don't know. How do you feel about the word vegan? Do you think it carries any kind of stigma?
Oh, absolutely. Unfortunately, I think absolutely. Like people automatically, you say vegan, like I avoid that when I talk to my clients. I don't come out of the box talking about vegan diets. I'll say, ooh, plant-based nutrition, a whole, I say things like that. And I do try to avoid the word vegan because I think it can be kind of triggering for a lot of people.
Totally. I host this show sometimes with Crystal, most of the time with Crystal, called Vegan World Radio in Houston. And even then, it's like, even calling it Vegan World Radio, but it's like, I don't know. The word still means so much to me, but I'm so cautious about using it and stuff. It's like, even in the thumbnail today, I changed it to animal free. How Dr. Moni Ramirez went animal free, because she's also a vegan vet. Oh, that goes together with your V's, doesn't it? With a vegan vet, I think it goes together.
Yeah.
Vegan veterinarian. Vegan vet. Hello. We got a lot of hellos. Well, okay, so Dr. Moni Ramirez, we're going to bring her on. She is from the National Autonomous University of Mexico. In 2018, she went on to complete her shelter medicine internship at the University of Illinois, and since then has worked in animal shelters across California and currently provides relief spay and neuter services in the Bay Area. During vet school about 10 years ago, she became vegetarian after learning about the animal agriculture industry, or I like to call it the animal protein production industry, and witnessed firsthand what was going on there. She recently went on to the full-blown vegan. She uses the V word, full-blown vegan. Full-blown. Full-blown. Even calling it full-blown makes me think like it's a disease. Like veganism might be like, oh, man, I used to know Sky. He went full-blown vegan. Full-blown. He used to be sort of vegan. No, I get it. Conscientious objector. Okay, thank you for saying hello in the chat. I appreciate it. Keep it up. Please give us any kind of fun stuff in the chat. We'd love to see you. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you drop an emoji in the chat. Let us do a vibe check. What's your vibe in the chat? I'd love to see what's going on there. tell me what the vibe is. All right, we're going to bring in Dr. Moni Ramirez if you're okay with that. Are you? Yeah, you ready for the music? Nice. Here we go. Uh-oh, Dr. Q, are you with me? Dr. Ramirez. What do you think about my theme song? You like it?
I love
it. Andrew says, "Go Moni." I love it. You've got a fan club already.
Oh.
Everywhere you go, you have a fan club. Is that it?
No. Just supportive friends.
Supportive friend. Those are important to have. You know, are they? Did you have supportive friends in veterinarians school in vet school? Did you have a lot of lifelong friends that you made there?
I did. Yeah, thankfully, and a lot of us are here in California, so that's good.
You're so lucky to be in California. I'm lucky to be in I'm in California too. I love it. I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, it's great.
I love Chicago and everything, but I love. Were you in Chicago? You say Illinois. I think Chicago.
No, I was 3 hours away from Chicago in a little college town called Champaign, Urbana.
Oh, I've been there. Yeah. I love Illinois and everything. Although it's a little dicey these days, I hear. But I'm always happy to be in California. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, but you didn't grow up here, right? You grew up in Mexico, or?
Correct. Yeah. I was born and raised in Mexico City, and I've only been in the U.S. for 6 years.
Really? The DF? Did you call it the Distrito Federal? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. The DF. You were in the DF?
Sí.
Wow. That's incredible. So you only been here for 6 years. I got to ask you, why is your English impeccable?
I watched a lot of TV growing up, a lot of Friends growing up.
Oh, Friends? Were you a Monica fan or Phoebe or Rachel? What was your...
I was a Chandler fan.
Chandler. Yeah. Could I be? You know, my favorite episode was the Chandler smoking episode. That to me was the funniest moment in all of the Friends shows, when he's trying to light the cigarette off the back of Phoebe's tailpipe and stuff like that. I mean, that's because anybody who's ever smoked cigarettes, they know that's not far off. it's the devil. So Mexico City is, I guess, I don't know that many vets from Mexico City, and although I'm meeting more, it seems to be I don't know. Is it what got you into veterinary medicine?
I was actually first doing a bachelor's in psychology, and I realized very early on that hearing people's problems is not my thing, and all the medically oriented classes were my favorite. So I figured, okay, I like medicine, and I'd much rather treat someone's paw than someone's foot. So it just made sense.
That does make sense. Feet can be nasty, but paws are cute.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, exactly.
That's, I always tell people go to college, although there's so many people these days saying don't go to college, because I just read a thing that said only 35% of Americans, as opposed to it used to be 75% of Americans thought that college was a good idea. And now only 35% of Americans think that college is a good idea. And I found that to be very disheartening, because I think that the story that you just told would resonate with a lot of people who went to college. A lot of people start out, they're doing psychology, and they're like, actually, I love the medicine part. I love parts of this, but not everything. I'm a switch. I love that. Yeah. That's what university's for, right? To try to find out how you want to contribute to the world.
Exactly.
Yeah, Dr. Questen, you started out that. I forget your whole story, to be honest, but
that's okay.
But
we're not here to talk about me.
Yeah, but I find that to be pretty frequent with vets. They start out doing one thing, and then they're like, you know what? Actually, I just want to help animals. I just want to do that.
Well, I would love to know where Dr. Ramirez grew up, and tell us a little bit about her relationship with animals early on.
I grew up in Mexico City, so I was far away from farm animals. I did have, the usual pets, betta fish, hamsters, dogs. I do remember as a child the first night that my dog had to sleep outside, I was crying. And my dad was like, "Oh, he's just a dog." And I was so confused by that. And I think that was the first time that I thought, okay, maybe other people don't see animals the way I see them.
I live with a Mexican family. Well, my girlfriend's family is Mexican, and some of them live with me. And her dad was raised in the DF. And older Mexican families seem to have a very different relationship with their pets too. Is that too far? That's not very far. Like than American families typically. Like it just seems to be a different vibe with their pets.
Yeah, I think it's changing. I think you see all sorts of things now. I think you see people who treat them as their babies and people who still have them all day up in the roof. Yeah.
I mean, there's places in America like that too, like in rural South Carolina and everything. I've seen, animals just chained up outside. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It seems like they always get the short end of the stick, don't they?
Yeah.
Fortunately, they do. Well, tell us more about yourself. Like, what kind of passions did you have before veterinary school, or what were you doing before that?
Well, like I was just saying, I was first studying psychology, didn't realize it wasn't my thing, and then switched to vet med.
Was veterinary school what you expected?
No, I don't know what I expected, but it was certainly kind of a nightmare for me, and I think I was not the only one. So in Mexico they teach veterinary medicine along with zootechnics, which is what you guys call animal science in the U.S. So most of my curriculum was focused on animal farming and animal production. So I have many horror stories from the labs, from the farms, and from the slaughterhouses.
Tell us one of those stories.
Yeah. So when I was doing my bovine practice, for example, we were disbudding calves and dehorning the cows. And to do that, they were teaching us how to do a lidocaine block, which the teaching itself was very different from when we're dealing with dogs and cats, right? When you're dealing with dogs and cats, it's usually like someone shows you first on a screen how to do the block, and then you see the teacher do it live, and then they walk you through it. But here we were just at the farm and they were like, yeah, just go like this and whatever. Sometimes you won't have lidocaine and that's okay. You still have to do this. We also had to brand cattle, which was just heartbreaking, seeing how we were also just restraining these animals to brand them, which is incredibly painful. I didn't want to participate in that. Luckily, my classmates helped me cover so that the teacher would not know that I was not doing it, because he did say, if you don't do this, you're going to fail. But I was lucky enough to have people cover for me.
So you had to trick him. You had to trick him and make sure you were, make him think that you were branding animals?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I visited many small rural farms where the animals were just kept in horrible conditions. They were thin, they were sick, and some of the farmers would like insult them, yell at them, beat them. Diarrhea was horrible. This one cow had diarrhea so liquid, and it was a full-grown cow, that when the diarrhea hit the ground, it splashed back into my eye.
Oh my God.
That's how sick these animals are. And I had a friend who also has this horror story from her dairy cattle practice, where she was visiting this farm, and the animals, again, were thin, were lame, were clearly suffering from laminitis. And she says there was this one cow that looked so sick, she couldn't even walk. She was like begging to be put out of her misery. And my friend told her professor at the time, you know what, this cow needs to be taken out of production. You either euthanize this cow or you treat this cow. And the professor was like, no, it's fine, and proceeded to inseminate this cow that could barely walk. Yeah. And that was the thing. Before we went into these farms, we were told, do not make any negative comments. Don't be judgmental, because these farmers are opening their doors for you to learn. And if you say something, you might be closing the doors for future students. And so that was a clear message that the relationships of the institution were more important than speaking up for the animals' welfare.
Or the animal's welfare overall, right? I mean, everything was more important other than the animal themselves. Do you think that's because they teach veterinary medicine and what did you call it? Animal production science?
We call it zootechnics, but I think you guys call it animal science here. And yeah, that's certainly something. There was always this big argument about it is our job to feed the population. It is our job to get animal protein to the indigenous people, right? And so with that argument, you really couldn't say anything about the animals. The animals came second. It was always, we got to feed the poor, which is just, that argument doesn't make sense when you consider the fact that animal protein needs a lot more land, a lot more water, and a lot more crops than plant protein. And if you were to just feed those plants to people, food would not be as scarce and food would not be as expensive. So that realization, once I graduated, I was like, this is just, I was upset.
So your vet student, your fellow students who helped you cover, were any of them conscientious objectors as well? How were they feeling about this?
No, not at all. And a lot of them went on to become cattle veterinarians. No, they were fine with it. I think there's something about that school that just beats the empathy out of you. And I do remember I had one bioethics class in all of vet school. And I had a great teacher. She made us read Peter Singer's Animal Liberation, and she told us about bullfighting and etc. And she warned us the first semester. She was like, right now, I'm telling you guys all this, and you look so sad and so upset. Please stay this way, because when I see you guys graduating, you're not like this anymore. And she was so right. I saw it with my friends.
That term, they beat the empathy out of you. That's something I've said it so many times talking with veterinarians and how they've gone through this kind of just a gauntlet that they have to run to get through these university classes. In order to help animals, they have to harm the animals. It
doesn't make any sense.
No.
It doesn't. I had another friend who she had this practice at a zoo, the African Safari in Mexico, which is one of the biggest, most important zoos we have. And they had a shipment of live mice that they were going to feed to the raptors. And they told her to just stick the mice in the freezer alive. And she was like, I'm not going to do that. And they were like, well, then you're going to have to kill them one by one yourself. And she would much rather kill over a dozen mice by herself, one by one, than stick them in the freezer and let them die, like freezing. It was just horrible. And, this whole beating empathy thing out of students, in the same practice, the teacher told her there was a group of bunnies, and the teacher was like, oh, hey, can you go grab a bunny? And so she went over there and thinking, okay, we're going to do some blood draws or, I don't know, just practice something on these bunnies. And she grabbed the cutest, most docile bunny, thinking now she gets to do fun things with the bunny. Well, no, the teacher immediately breaks the bunny's neck and feeds it to a hawk. And that kind of thing is just traumatizing. And for them to just act so nonchalant about things like this, it's what does it. It's what beats the empathy out of you.
It's so true. You every time we talk about these things, I get these. I think everyone who's in the animal care space, animal welfare space, you get these flashbacks every time you hear these horror stories. And so many people. I'm from a hospitality background, and we would get fresh fish, and they're alive, and they would just put them in the freezer and the argument was, well, it's better for them to get cold and go into shock and die than it would be to kill each one after another. And but then that's just what you do. That's where you put the lobsters too. They're alive as well. You put them in the freezer and watch their metabolism slow down.
It's actually against the AVMA guidelines for euthanasia. I'm a fish veterinarian. That's my expertise. And so it's considered extremely cruel and unusual to freeze an animal to death. That's what AVMA guidelines tell us, whether it's fish or a lobster. So, but anyway, oh my gosh. So tell us.
I sat through a thing, a talk at one of the AVA summits, and it was a person saying that that's how they kill shrimp. They put shrimp into ice baths, and it takes them, I don't know, upwards of 10 minutes to die. And their pitch was to build this electrical system that would electrocute the shrimp to kill them more quickly, rather than just not eat shrimp, like just don't eat shrimp. No, let's kill them more quickly. That's the answer.
Yeah, and speaking of AVMA guidelines, another horrible thing that we had to do in vet school, in our physiology lab, we would do experiments with organs and stuff, and to get those organs, we would use rats, and we were putting the rats in glass jars with ether to sedate them, and then euthanize them with intraperitoneal pentobarbital. But the ether was a horrible way to sedate these rats. They were gasping. You could clearly see it was irritating them. Not to mention, it is a safety hazard for the students, and the AVMA is against this, against using ether, and my school is AVMA accredited.
Whoa!
I mean,
whoa!
Yeah.
Faith in the AVMA. You guys, both of you have a lot of faith in the AVMA. Do you?
Well, no. But I just want to say, this is my way of saying, okay, and I don't think actually it might not be currently accredited, but when I was there, it was AVMA accredited, and it is the only vet school in Latin America that's ever been AVMA accredited, right? So that's my way of saying, if this is the kind of thing that is going on at UNAM, which is arguably the most prestigious university in Mexico, maybe even Latin America, what is happening in other vet schools?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, nothing good. I mean, the stuff that I've heard from American vet schools has not painted a pretty picture. You know what I mean? It's not been good. It's
that's hard.
And it's sad that you guys have to go through this. Every veterinarian has to go through this, and it seems like they are trying to. How many do you expect to actually speak up for animals when the empathy is actively being beaten out of them by the system?
Yeah, I mean, even me, who I felt it. I didn't know speaking up was an option. I didn't know a different way was an option. If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
I think it was just something that hit me very, very recently when I discovered who Dr. Crystal Heath was, and I went on her Instagram page, and I was like, oh my God, this woman is amazing, and she's saying all the things that I want to say, and she's facing backlash, and she just doesn't care, and I want to be like her. But it wasn't until that moment a couple months ago that I realized, okay, I can say something, and I can try to change things.
Yeah, and I would say, she cares, but she's tough, and she knows that what we're doing is so important for the animals. What's happening for them, it's far worse. Everybody, it hurts us all when we're called out and not allowed to speak, when we're shut down, when there's people are actively trying to silence Dr. Heath. So sure, it affects her, but she gets back up and she gets out there.
Yeah, I think the only time I tried saying something, so for surgery lab, we were using bunnies. We were doing terminal surgeries in bunnies and in pigs, which were horrible, right? Dr. Q, anesthesia in bunnies is not fun. Bunnies are either too light under anesthesia or too deep, and then they die. And we were students doing it. Nobody knew what we were doing, and there was one teacher overseeing the whole class, so it was a mess. And the bunnies ended up either being too light or dying. Obviously, I felt worse for the ones that were too light and were waking up in the middle of a procedure. And that was such a nightmare. I remember just being in school on a Friday, dealing with the bunnies and feeling so bad for them, and wanting to just, things to end, and then driving down to the beach with my family for the weekend, and I would be thinking, oh my God, how these like horrible things are happening all the time while people are living normal lives and being so unaware of it. To me, that was just wild. And even if I were to tell my family this is what just happened to me, they wouldn't understand. Like, you have to be there, you have to see these animals. But after that, those surgery classes, I once said to my friends, I understand I have to do this, but I don't feel good about it. And one of my friends like immediately snapped back, like, but you have to do it. And I was just so overwhelmed with all the things that I wanted to say to her. And luckily, another friend just ended the conversation where he was just like, that's what she said. She knows she has to do it. But I just meant, I know I have to do it because otherwise I'm going to fail. I did not think it was bringing anything to my surgical skills at all, right? Like, when vet students graduate, what they need to do is spay and neuter surgeries in dogs and cats. Rabbits are very, very different, and we're not doing fancy surgeries. We're just doing mostly spay and neuters in dogs and cats, which Mexico has a huge overpopulation problem. So why aren't we just partnering with shelters and with rescues to do these procedures? And the reason why is because in vet school, that's all you hear all the time. Activists are crazy and they are uneducated and they're not helping us. And
yeah, well, you hear that everywhere, right? Yeah, the activists are the crazy ones. Yeah, Dr. Q, you're the crazy one.
I know. Guilty. But I just feel bad. This is so sad to me. I just feel so bad for you that you didn't have anybody like myself or Dr. Heath to help you realize that you are the compassionate one, right? You are the one that is actually seeing and feeling this animal suffering and feel horrible. I mean, like, I'm almost like tearing up just listening to you talk about it, I mean, it's so awful. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. It is awful. And I think it's just that, all my classmates, well, most of them were like, okay with it. I heard classmates say things like, oh, animals are just biological machines for human consumption and things like that are so just disconnected and no compassion. It's really sad. I think the worst story I have from vet school, let me say what it is. This was at a federally inspected slaughterhouse, what in Mexico we call un rastro de tipo inspección federal. Which is supposed to comply with international standards of quality and hygiene. And my friend, I did not go there, thank God, but my friend was there, and she was seeing this humane method of they stun the pigs first, they shock them to supposedly they lose consciousness. And then they proceed to bleed them, and then they hang them by their legs, and then they drop them in scalding hot water to remove the hair. Which, that alone, even if done properly, that sounds horrifying. And there's no version of that you can be there and experience it and think, okay, yeah, this is humane. But what my friend saw that day was even more horrifying. Speaking of beating empathy out of people, the worker that was running the line that day suddenly had to use the restroom, and he didn't think it was necessary to stop the line. So the pigs were not getting stunned. They were just falling in the scalding hot water like that. And my friend was just traumatized by the screams of these pigs. And she says to me, Moni, I kept thinking there's no difference between this pig and a person. Like, this is insane.
Yeah. When you hear them scream, it sounds like people. With pigs, it's too. Yeah, man. With pigs, it's too obvious. It's unbelievable that people. To me, it's unbelievable to me that pigs are still. And a lot of religions, I think that's why somebody saw it and was like, no, we can't do this one. Like, they're too close. Although, I mean, people eat orangutans too, so I mean, I don't even know. But Dr. Ramirez, after the horror shows of vet school, what was your next path? What path did you take after that?
Well, I mean, in vet school, I started rescuing stray dogs and cats. Luckily, my mom loves animals, so she was okay with me bringing home kittens and even dogs. And then, I learned about how everywhere we are euthanizing dogs for space because there's just not space for them in the shelters. How we're doing spay abortions, which, as much as I hate doing them, I know they're necessary to help control the population. And so I figured, okay, if I want to help out dogs and cats, the most efficient way is to do spay neuter. And so that's what I do now full time. I just do spay neuter all day, every day. I'm doing anywhere between 25 and 40 surgeries. And then it helps me think, okay, I'm bringing less meat eaters into the world.
Yeah, that's true too, right?
Yeah.
I watched Dr. Heath do something like that where she was at a shelter doing, I want to say 100 in a day. She had help, and they were doing something 100 spay and neuters all in one day. And they were saying, a pregnant animal is eating almost 30 to 40% more calories, so that's got to, there's more animals that are being harmed, and even an intact male, 20% more calories they're consuming. So this is, you're absolutely right. Not just not bringing more meat eaters into the world, but also lowering the number that they're going to kill, the ones that you're leaving out there. So I think spay and neuter is also the most successful animal welfare campaign in the history of animal welfare. So I think it's incredibly important work, hugely important.
Do you have your own pets?
Yeah, I have 2 cats.
Cute kitties.
Everyone likes that. Did you hear today, and you're in California, Dr. Ramirez, today Governor Gavin Newsom finally signed the bill AB 867 into law, and is now illegal to perform cat declaw procedures in California. Pretty big deal, I think.
Yeah, I'm so glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, they cut the fingers off. They cut the digit, not the digit, the knuckle of each digit. I mean, when you find out what cat declaw really is, it's hard to defend. But I mean, I think it's such a huge victory, and the fact that so many activists wrote into the governor. I wrote in. I said, please sign it. Please sign this into law. I write the governor a lot, though. We've got 2 more days before we see if he signs AB 411, which allows dairies and other animal confinement businesses to bury mammals on their land, which is illegal right now. But it's passed. It's just not signed into law yet. So if anybody wants to do a little light activism, please go to gov.ca.gov/contact and click 411 from the drop down menu and ask Governor Gavin Newsom to veto AB 411, because we don't want, I always frame it as, because we don't want the dead mammals to be poisoning our water supply. But it's not many people are talking about it, but it's going to be a big deal, because tens of thousands of animals die out there every year, and there are floods. There's all sorts of stuff that could happen. That what happens when there's a major flood in the same year as a major heat wave? Tens of thousands of animals are just washing up and going into your water supply. That's horrible. So
It's awful. It's awful.
It never ends. You're always on the treadmill. That's what you're getting it's like, the empathy being beaten out of you thing. It's because you're always on this treadmill, and the treadmill's always going backwards, and if you let it go backwards, you will go all the way back to terminal surgeries and all sorts of ancient stuff that should be. Or what'd you say, the animals are protein machines that humans need to? That's Descartes. Descartes said that. That's 500 years ago, I think, right? Something like that,
Yeah.
like 500 years ago.
Yeah, I understand. I think I understand in the sense of sometimes it's tempting for me to just stop thinking about it and just be
Wouldn't
like,
it be
oh,
nice?
yeah, and it is nice when I can do it for even just 5 minutes, not think about what's happening. That feels really nice. So,
Ignorance is bliss, but
yeah.
once you know better, a good person does better. That's it, right? I wish I could go back in time and not know what cows and chickens went through. I would love to know that. I would love to be walking around dumb, fat, and happy, just walking around waiting in line at McDonald's and being stupid all day. I wish I didn't know the things that I know.
Yeah.
Not really. I don't really wish that. But you know what I mean?
Well,
now that I know.
Yeah. For sure. Oh, Dr. Ramirez, if there was one thing about veterinary medicine that you could change, what would it be?
That's an easy one. I would just wish it wasn't speciesist anymore. I wish the profession just, acknowledged how similar animals are to us, how they feel the same emotions we feel, and that they deserve our compassion and that they are just not ours to exploit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're not here for us. They're here for themselves.
Correct.
So what gives you hope right now?
If I'm being honest, I want to be honest, most days, not much. Most days, my heart breaks every time I am with a friend and they order meat, or every time my dad makes a joke about me being vegan, or just every time I'm with coworkers who are also dedicating their lives to saving animals, right? I work in dog and cat shelters. People there love dogs and cats, and they also make jokes every now and then about me being vegan. That breaks my heart, and that's an everyday thing, because you think, okay, maybe if I just tell people what's happening, maybe if I just tell them what they're paying for, they'll stop. But they don't. I'll tell people, I'm like, do you know how they kill sick piglets? Do you know what happens to male chicks in egg production? And they hear it, and then they're like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to get through to people. Do they have to be taken to the farms and taken to the slaughterhouses so they can experience what I've experienced?
Well, Dr. Ramirez, how long have you been vegan?
Only a few months, to be honest. I was vegetarian for 10 years. So, okay, so this is another thing that really bothers me. I was vegetarian for 10 years. I met a lot of vegan veterinarians, and no one told me anything. I just needed a tiny push to become vegan. And that's something that really upsets me, that we have gotten vegetarians and vegans to shut up, and they don't say anything. They don't speak up. And people are like, oh, vegans are so annoying, always saying things. I never met a vegan who told me anything. I would have become vegan way sooner if I had.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, everyone says that. Yeah, these vegans are always talking about it, and it's like, well, no, we're talking about the animals first of all, and the other thing is, most vegans are real soft-spoken about the whole thing. They're not all activists. What you're saying is something that I think every activist runs into, where you're going, why aren't you standing up? Why aren't you doing this with me? Like, get up. And it turns out that most people are perfectly okay with a culture of domination, a culture of exploitation for profit. This is something that they've grown accustomed to. And it's just, when you normalize something, once it's normalized, it's real hard for get people to change that, or even to acknowledge that these things are against their principles.
It's so hard, but I'm like, if you would not be capable of doing this to an animal, because I know they wouldn't. I know they would not be able to do that to these animals. Then why are you paying someone to do it for you?
Mm-hmm. I wish I had an answer for you. I mean, I own a veterinary hospital, so I'm very fortunate because I get to lay the law of the land, and the law of the land is we don't recommend animal-based diets at all for dogs or cats. And so, yet virtually nobody on my staff is vegan or vegetarian. And so, when I have staff meetings or things like that, and I buy lunches, we're as a practice not going to spend money on meat-based products for them for their lunch. But yet they bring meat in to make their own lunch. And I can't say anything about that. I can't dictate what you can bring in when you bring your own lunch. I can only set an example, and I've had people working for me for a long time, and they just kind of nod their head and go, like you said earlier, Sky, she's just crazy, right? And so they just deal with me because I'm the boss and I'm writing the paychecks. And so I'm very, very fortunate that I am in a position to where I can dictate that the way our hospital runs is from that perspective, from all the products that we have. I don't use Adequan anymore because I was recently found out that Adequan is derived from bovine tissues, and I actually didn't know that at first. I'm still learning also, so I don't use Adequan. But just hang in there, because we're just all doing the best we can.
But that's the thing, right? That's what we're supposed to. You just do the best you can. That's like. Yeah. It's not a sport. It's not a game. It's not a contest, right? It's doing the best you can is more than anyone else is doing for the animals.
Yeah.
Not many people are trying the best they can. And that's all we got. That's all we got to do. But I get your frustration. You think that you're going to tell people or show them the truth or just the facts and they're going to change. But we already know this in so many things in human experience. They learn facts and vote against their own interests or do things that are counterintuitive. This is just and the laughing thing. There's also sociologists talk about this all the time about the reason people laugh. People laugh when they're experiencing trauma. People laugh when they're for some reason when I hurt myself, I generally laugh. It's like a trauma response. There's all sorts of things like when you laugh, you're also showing that you're part of someone else's group. And I think that that's a lot of it too. Like, oh, I'm not one of those. I'm with these other folks. Ha 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 ha. Let's laugh. I don't think they actually are deriving any joy from the torture of animals. At least I hope not. I have to believe that, for God's sake.
I think they just can't believe it. Like, I think it's just they cannot bring themselves to believe it, that it's really that traumatic. And so they just have to disassociate. But anyway, I just hear the pain in your voice and just hang in there, just hang in there and just like have a conversation with myself or Dr. Heath or whoever to help you if you're feeling overwhelmed by being surrounded by people that don't get it, don't get you, and don't get what you're standing up for, because you're the one that's actually correct, right? So.
Yeah, and I'm fortunate enough that there are some people around me that did listen to me. My mom is trying to be vegan. My best friend is trying to be vegan. There's a couple other people that I think I'm convincing. And I've met a few vegan activists in the Bay Area, and I have friends that are doing this. So that, I mean, there are some things that bring me hope sometimes.
Yeah, how did you end up in California?
I think I never thought I was going to stay in the U.S. I thought I was going to learn and then go home. And when I realized staying was kind of the best option, I thought, okay, it has to be somewhere pretty and somewhere close to Mexico. So California makes sense.
Yeah. Although the Bay Area, you're like 10 hours away. I mean, I'm a day's walk from the border. I'm like, it's right over there. I can.
Yeah, San Diego's the dream for sure.
Yeah, it's great down here. The coldest winter the coldest winter I ever saw was a summer in San Francisco. That's what Mark Twain said. That's I went to school up there. I spent a lot of time in the Bay, and I love it. It's great. I love California all from top to bottom, but the South it's got a little something extra. Plus, more people speak Spanish down here.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear Spanish every day. I love it.
Dr. Ramirez, where do you see yourself in like 10 years?
Hopefully back in Mexico. I don't know. A group of friends and I are trying to, well, we already established a nonprofit and we want to do something to help farm animals. Originally, we wanted to do spay neuter in Mexico, but now we're thinking more about farm animals, but we are not sure yet what we're going to do with it.
Oh, so you have a nonprofit that you're starting?
Yeah, we just established it. We haven't done anything with it, and we don't know what we're going to do, but...
Do you have a mission yet or anything like that?
No, not yet. Like I said, we originally wanted to do spay neuter in Mexico, but now that I'm vegan, I was like, no, we have to do something about farm animals.
Oh, wonderful. Oh my God, that is so amazing. I'm so glad to hear you say that.
It's I mean, the farmed animals, they need help for sure. They need help.
They do.
In the fact you were talking about euthanasia and terminal surgeries and end of life stuff, and one of the things that we talk about a lot with Our Honor is raising awareness about ventilation shutdown. I was just writing about it today, actually. Ventilation shutdown is like just with chickens, and bird flu's coming back again. It's endemic now, and we're seeing it. Seeing more cases as the weather changes, as our flu season, so does their season come, and I wonder down in Mexico, what are they using in their egg production facilities? I know that Mexico eats more eggs per person than any other country in the world. They eat, yeah, it's crazy, right?
That is insane. Yeah, but
380 eggs a year per person. It's one a day, nearly a little more than one a day. People, it's funny because like you don't think of Mexican cuisine to have a ton of eggs, but it does. There's tons of eggs, like in huevos rancheros and like chilaquiles. You see a lot of eggs in Mexican cuisine. When I was with PETA, they wanted me to go down to Mexico with that chicken truck, and at first I was like, yeah, let's do it, and then no, I don't think it's a good idea to go down there with an activist truck with PETA. I got enough death threats when I was in the United States. I didn't want to go down to Mexico. But I mean, I wonder if they use. Do you know if they use ventilation shutdown down there?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
South of the border. Someone asked in the chat if you have any questions for the doctors. Now's your chance. Monica, have you read Eternal Treblinka? Have you had the chance to read that one yet?
I have not. No.
It's by Charles Patterson. It's a remarkable book about the path of the slaughterhouse to Auschwitz. Basically, it's the birth of the slaughterhouse and the line from animal production to the Holocaust. And it goes each step along the way. It's friggin', I don't know. It's one of those mind blowing books. I feel like if you're vegan and you really want to go after, you really want to look at how it all came to be, all this farmed animal situation. That's the way to do it, man. It's an incredible book. Have you read Dr. Q?
Yeah, I have not read it. It's just like it's hard for me, right? Because like I feel like I get up in the morning and I literally will try to send like love and light towards all the slaughterhouses in the world that day for all the animals that are going to suffer and be killed that day, you know? So, and like the people that have to do it, because I don't think there's anybody that really wants that job.
They're a cog in the cog on the wheel as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just, try to send them some good wishes and then otherwise I do that, and then I try to like just go on with my day and do my thing and pursue my passions and things and try not to let it overwhelm me, because you have to compartmentalize it. Otherwise, it will overwhelm you.
Yeah. But what gets you out of the bed? What gets you out of bed and what makes you want to fight? Because you're a fighter too. You're not just sending light and love.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, it's about positive reinforcement, and so I'm teaching that because I know that that's the number one way that I can be helpful to help more animals stay in homes in the first place so they don't end up in the shelter pipeline or the slaughterhouse pipeline for horses and that sort of thing. So I'm very fortunate that I have that as my guiding light to help me, because I know I'm going to help less animals end up in that pipeline in the first place. But, I mean, that has nothing to do at all in any way with all these animals in Mexico that are just suffering heinously day in and day out. And just, it's just very hard to think about. And I don't know what the answers are. I really don't.
Yeah, it's so hard. I blocked a lot of what I learned in vet school. A lot of the stories that I told today, I had to like discuss with a friend from vet school and be like, do you remember what else we lived? Because we totally blocked them. We didn't want to think about it. We didn't want to, it was at the time where I thought I can't speak up and this is how things are and I can't change them. And, I was still eating eggs and dairy.
Yeah. I think so many of us were like that. I mean, I was eating eggs and dairy. I was vegetarian. I would eat animals on my birthday or something stupid. I forget, like, because I was vegetarian for about 10 years before I decided that I'm just going to go animal free. And it was for 10 years, you know, a little wishy-washy. Oh, I'm traveling or I'm doing this. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's just... but then when you start living by your principles, it's something different. I mean, that's another thing, right? You're a person who lives by your principles, and you wanted to take a stand.
Yeah, I think for me it was I got one vegan video on my Instagram feed, and then my whole algorithm was videos about animal suffering, and now I don't want to eat meat, because yeah, when I was vegetarian I would go to Mexico and I'd be like, well, I'm in Mexico, I gotta eat some tacos, right? But now after like seeing those videos and reliving the things I saw in vet school, I was like, oh my god, no, that is disgusting, I don't want any of it.
Yeah.
And it's not healthy for you anyway, right? I mean, we also know, like, I always refer back to the China study, right? So as far as I know, still the most extensive research ever done on human nutrition, which tracked people all around the world and all different demographics, and comes back to, okay, guess who lives longest? The people that don't eat animals. You know, so yeah,
it affects you. I love that. I think about that with so many things in life, like meditation maybe, or education we were talking about today. You start out doing it for yourself, right? A lot of people, you start meditation and you think, okay, I'm going to do this and find peace of mind, find a little more center. Or you go into education and you think, okay, I'm going to get a better job prospects. I'm going to but you start learning, if you're good, you start learning that actually this is for everybody else. Like, I'm bettering myself in order for everyone else to enjoy it, in order for everybody else to have a little bit more peace and love in their lives, you know?
Yeah. I mean, veganism it's good for the animals, it's good for the humans, it's good for the planet. I don't see any arguments against veganism that are valid.
So now that you're vegan and you're doing your 501c3 or whatever, the organization, your nonprofit, what kind of activism are you getting into? Sounds like you're starting to get your feet wet with activism.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I'm so new to this. I don't know what I'm doing. I was just even nervous coming on here because I thought if some people from vet school see this, they're not gonna like it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Good. Well, that's okay. You got this. You got this.
But you're in the Bay Area. There's lots of activism up there. So I mean, you said you have some activist friends up there too, right?
Yeah, I met Maddie Krasno. She's the one who introduced me to Dr. Heath, luckily. So that's been good. So at least getting to hang out with vegan people has been great, which is also super new to me, right? To be around people and no one's ordering meat and no one's ordering milk. It's great.
Makes it easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And then they tell you about these delicious vegan restaurants, and it's fun.
It's funny how, like, when it takes so much stress out of relationships. I don't really have many. I don't really have any friends except for maybe some really old ones that I see very seldom, who eat animals. And when they visit, we go to a vegan restaurant. You know, like, I'm one of those weirdos. I don't even like going to restaurants that serve animals. I'm like, if I'm in a jam and I'm in the middle of nowhere or something, maybe, but like, it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot of ifs before I end up in an animal serving restaurant. And the only animals I want in there are humans. But it takes so much of
living, breathing ones, preferably.
Living, breathing ones, yeah, preferably living, breathing humans. But it takes all the stress out of it, right? Like, with you know, my father's still alive, and he's not great, but I see him every once in a while, every month or so, and I just say, okay, well, if you want to see me, we're gonna meet at a vegan restaurant. That's how it's gonna happen. And guess what, man? It's like so much more chill. It's so much easier than dealing with it like the before times, you know?
Yeah, I've been, you know, when men ask me on dates now, I'll tell them Because now they have this thing where they just ask you out for a drink or a walk, not even to a restaurant. And I tell them, no, you are taking me to a restaurant and it has to be vegan. And if that doesn't work for you, then
sayonara.
yeah.
Well, there's Vegly app now too that it's just for vegan singles.
Yeah. I'm on Vegly. Yeah.
Yeah, I say Vegly, but they say I did a collaboration with them, and they're Brazilians. They're from Brazil, and they're all vegan, but they call it Vegly down in Brazil. So I don't even know how everybody. I say Vegly, but I also say veganese, and I know a lot of people say veganese. So what am I? Who am I? Potato. You know what I mean?
Yes, for sure.
But that's so important. Some people say they want to date meat eaters and try to convert them or something. I'm like, forget that. I have no time for that. Yeah.
No, I will never be able to ever share my refrigerator.
Yeah.
My cat. No way will I ever have meat in my fridge with anybody for any reason. What?
No.
No.
No way. I absolutely not. For sure. I couldn't agree with you more. My girlfriend, I met her by the third date. I was like, well, it's been fun, but I can't really get serious about anybody who's not vegan. And she's like, oh, well, I was thinking about going vegan anyway since I met you. And I'm like, perfect. So, she's been vegan for 6 years, so it's been.
Oh, good.
But I did just take her out for drinks the first date.
What's that about?
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, honestly, just to be totally honest, the reason why I started just go out for drinks if I ask somebody out, it was because of the vegan thing. Because I didn't want to have where I'm going to go just shut down, because I'm not going to have a good time. At the end of the day, you're dating to have a good time with somebody, get to know somebody, right? But if I go out and they're eating bone marrow in front of me, I don't want to sit there.
No way.
No
way.
People are crazy like that. They'll be like, when I first moved to Vegas, I went on a few dates with this showgirl, and of course she's like statuesque, she's tall. I'm wearing a suit. We're looking really cool in Vegas. And then on the second date, she's talking about how she was eating foie gras, like just telling me about it.
No.
But right? She's not eating it in front of me, but she's telling me about it over drinks, But you see what I'm saying? Like, it's so much better that we were just having a cocktail instead of going out, because if she had ordered the foie gras, that would have been a whole thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, your reason makes sense. I think men are just doing it nowadays because they're cheap.
Oh, well, nothing's cheap in Vegas.
Well, that's true.
But I don't know, in college, I would coffee dates, pretty cool. But like daytime coffee, that's pretty non-committal. Like, hey, you want to go grab some coffee? We can both get the heck in.
See if they get the soy milk or the coconut milk.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's okay. That works.
Yeah, maybe coffee dates are the best. Like, and then at least it's a daytime thing usually.
I don't like coffee dates either, because when I'm going on a date, I want to dress up and look nice. I'm not going to dress up and look nice at a coffee shop.
Fair enough. You're absolutely right. I would usually take someone out to a show or something, or take people out for like a night on the town or something. That's a little bit different. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I get that.
We deserve to be pampered.
We all do.
I mean, you're a freaking doctor, okay? They need to treat you right, okay?
That's it.
Yep.
I completely understand that. You don't want to wear scrubs to the cafe.
Right.
Right? You want to get dressed up.
And that wouldn't change what they should spend on you. Okay?
Oh.
See? Because, I mean, come on, man. She's put in the time and the hard work to become this professional, right? She should have somebody who treats her like that.
Crystal says Sky's giving bad advice. I'm not giving advice. I'm merely saying, like, I don't know. Also, I guess the other thing is, when I was a dating person, I would go out and have these huge bar tabs. Like we're talking hundreds of dollar bar tabs. It wasn't like I was skimping out. I think that I was never in danger of someone calling me cheap. That was for sure. That was never going to be that was not going to be a thing.
No, these men will say, "I'll take you out for one drink."
Oh no, that's not me. I'm like, so I remember I was talking to my girlfriend. Her name is Karina, and I said, you know, we were talking about tequila, and I was talking about all these great tequilas. Like I like these like top shelves, like 42 and all these other things. I said, you want to go and have these incredible tequilas with me? And so it wasn't cheap. It was like we went out and had like a couple $100 worth of tequila.
Okay.
Because you know, like tequila could cost a lot of money if you're buying the good stuff, and I never really drank the bad stuff. Crystal also doesn't get drinks. You do not want to be under the influence around a strange man. Oof. Well, that's jeez. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to deal with that either, so I guess I'm lucky. My male privilege is showing. But Doctor, we talked about what the future holds, but I guess the last question, Dr. R, was what do you believe we should be doing to create a better world for all species?
I think we need to educate the public. I think people need to understand what they're contributing every day with their simple decisions. They need to know what they're paying for. And we need to not let the world silence us anymore. We need to speak up. I have so many vegan friends that won't say anything, and that frustrates me just because I know if someone had said something to me, I would have become vegan way, way sooner. So, yeah.
I love that. You know what? God, while you were talking, I was thinking, how many people make fun of the cliche, silence is violence? I know Crystal probably hates it. She hates cliche. But you're kind of like, that is silence is violence, right? Maybe I would have had my mind changed earlier if someone had told me. All it took was one person to tell me one time. I woke up the next day and was vegan because I didn't want to be a hypocrite anymore. I hated that feeling of feeling like a hypocrite, you know? I hated it so much.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe silence is violence in this case. I'm with you on that.
Yep.
It's tough. We have a big battle ahead of us, and it's not going to change anytime too soon, unfortunately. I hate to say that.
But don't concentrate on that, Dr.
No, I know.
I'm
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I believe it will happen in the next 20 years. And here's the other thing. Within the next, I want this generation, no more animal exploitation. But the other, even if it was totally doomed and there was no chance, zero chances of success, which we have a higher than zero chance, right?
Yes, we do.
If there was a zero chance, I still think it's our responsibility to be on the good guy's side, you know, to fight the good fight.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, I like this vision of 20 years. I like it. You know, I really do. That's a good vision. I appreciate you putting that up.
Well, it's that. Here's the other thing. It's either we're doing it in 20 years, or I don't think there's much hope for humanity in 20 years if we don't make this change.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's that too.
I don't like talking about because I don't think if raising animals and killing them for profit was good for the environment, we still shouldn't do it. Yeah. So I don't usually like talking about the environment. But my God, if we keep doing it, there might not be any hope for humanity. If it keeps going like this.
That's true.
So 20 years, I feel like this is it.
I like it. Let's do it. That's going to be our guidepost now. It's 20 years from now.
Yes, exactly. Well, viva la revolucion. If everybody, we just reached the end of the hour. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for All Beings Considered. Thank you, Dr. Ramirez. Is there some place where people can find you online and follow your adventures?
Not yet. I'm not a social media person yet.
When you are, I'm sure we'll be featuring you on Our Honor. So everyone should follow Our Honor and subscribe to this channel wherever you're watching. Please also subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we will keep tabs on Dr. Ramirez for you. Also, Dr. Q, why don't you plug your channel for me real fast?
Yeah, so if any of you guys are interested in positive reinforcement animal training, which is mostly what I do on my channel, it's the one Dr. Q, those 7 letters, THE, the 1DRQ. Really appreciate it because, of course, I don't really promote any animal killing kinds of things, but mostly I'm just talking about training and have some videos in there about feeding my dogs, plant-based, and my cats too, but not a whole lot of that because I don't know how many people are really super interested in that. But if they
It's
are,
a fun channel. I don't do any of those things, and I still like watching it. It's funny. YouTube's weird like that. You could get into stuff that maybe I like it a lot. Actually, I've been watching your channel a little bit, and
no, thanks.
yeah,
Thank
I
you.
dig it for sure. And when this is, I couldn't collab the live while it was streaming, but we'll collab the live once the stream is over, so people can connect to you through here too if they're watching after the live stream is over.
Awesome.
And I also want to tell everyone to please go to ourhonor.org/donate if you like to support our work. We are a nonprofit, and we have matching donations up to $25,000 this for the rest of the year. So we're hoping to 1 will get you 2, 5 will get you 10. Please donate to ourhonor.org/donate so we can continue our investigations, our content creation, all the stuff we do. I really appreciate you guys being here watching this. I appreciate you doctors for hanging out with me for all things considered. And
Thanks.
even Dr. Crystal showed up. So we got a bunch of doctors in the house. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Oh, and I'm also Skyjack Morgan everywhere on any platform if you want to find me. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for coming.
All beings considered. Thank you, everybody. Go to ourhonor.org/org. Considered, yeah. That's my favorite part. You wouldn't believe how many times I had to work on this on... Like, AI does all the work, but you still have to, like... Fly Sensi. Thank you all for joining, everybody.